I thought that as soon as I lost the weight, I would be happy. Oh, sis, I hope you're ready for this episode. If you are, get your pen, get your Post-it, get your ambition planner, and let's go. Hello, Ambition Babes. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, also known as the Face of Ambition, across all social media platforms, as well as wherever you stream your podcasts. I help women 40 years and older who are on a glow-up journey, who are ready to reinvent themselves and prioritize self-care. And so if that is content that you are consuming, I'm so glad that you found this channel. But do not worry, honey, if you're not over 40, and yes, the algorithm gods have suggested this video for you, that's because it's for you too, honey. Just consider me your digital bestie that is going to put you to all the mistakes that I've made so that you don't have to make them yourself. And today's episode is a very personal one. It's a topic that I've been excited to share with you all, but I'm approaching it with a lot of care because today I'm going to break down exactly what I learned during my weight loss journey. And if you wait until the end, I'll talk about if I am finally happy now that I've lost over 70 pounds. I want to start this episode by acknowledging the fact that all of us are on a different journey. Our weight loss goals and ambitions and how we lose weight looks different from person to person. And one thing I'm never going to do is judge a women's weight loss journey. If you started, if you stopped, if you've paused, if you've lost a lot and gained it all back, if you've lost a little and you feel really stuck, I want to just take a moment and validate you right now. I don't know a single woman that is not pleased with the way that they look right now. They want something to change. They want to fix their hip dips. They want their belly to be flatter. They want to tone their arms and back. They're searching for the elusive thigh gap, or they just want to feel more energized, more alive. They want healthy cholesterol and blood pressure. The majority of us are on a wellness journey, both physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional. And so in today's episode, I want to break down my journey to losing 70 pounds, and I want to offer you some tips on what I learned around my multi-decade journey. Oh yeah, honey, this isn't one of those stories where I say, oh yeah, honey, I just put my head down for 40 days. I ate this. All I had to do was ... and poof, I was at my goal weight. This is not such story. This is a story of real struggle, setbacks, and lifelong lessons learned. So let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to start. My numbers. Although before I went to the doctor and she told me that I was pre-diabetic, I had been struggling to lose weight for years. I'm not sure what weight I was whenever I got married, but just like every other woman, I know I was dieting before my wedding day. I believe my weight was around 230 pounds, and I stand at a statuesque 5'3". So during my 20s, I was starting my career, I was getting to know myself, and I was trying every fad diet and pill that was on the market. Do y'all remember those pills had me in a complete chokehold in college? I would pop my 2 pills and it would give me an immediate burst of energy. And I will never forget the day that it made me so sick. My legs were shaking, my lips were blue, my hands were cold. I hadn't eaten in days, but I really was so wrapped up in this idea that this pill doesn't make me hungry, so that's why I'm not eating. What I wasn't realizing is that I was starting to create a mental habit of starving my body and denying myself the nutrients that it needed to just survive. I'm sure I wasn't drinking enough water, and I wanted to figure out what I could do to not have to work out as hard as I should have in order to get to my goal weight. Now, I want to go ahead and start right now by saying I do not shade any weight loss method. You can take a pill, you can take a shot, you can go under the knife. I believe that every single option that is available is an option if it fits your lifestyle and budget. Early on in my weight loss journey, I had absolutely no idea how to eat. I didn't know how much water I should drink. I didn't know my macros. I didn't know anything about caloric intake. All that I knew is that if I ate less, I would weigh less. So the area that I had to start out on my weight loss journey was knowledge. I needed to understand how to eat as a vegetarian. I didn't know how to shop in a grocery store. I didn't know the difference between good carbs and bad carbs. I ate a ton of processed foods. I drank a lot of juice. I drank oily creamer in my coffee. Every single sandwich I had every condiment that was available on the aisle on it. I ate between meals. Every meal ended in dessert. And I really thought in my mind, as long as I ate a little bit of it, that it was okay. So what I had to do when I started on this journey, I had to understand where to start, and I had to start small. I had to start with just building habits that were going to help me change the habits that I had been forming the first half of my life. One of the first habits that I changed was I cut out juice and soda in my diet. Today, I drink over a gallon of water with an occasional poppy or kombucha sprinkled in every few weeks. Changing one small thing in my diet started changing the way that I looked, the way that I felt. It started changing my sleep. Identifying the thing in your life that you know is not serving your weight loss goals, that you can cut out, is an amazing space to start while you're on your journey. Even if this is not day one of your journey and it's day 690, there is still something that you've made a habit of eating that you need to focus on taking away from your diet. For me, it's French fries. I want to challenge you to identify one habit that does not serve you that you need to replace with a new one. It could be walking more. It could be showing up at the gym 2 to 3 times a week. Whatever it is, I want you to identify just one small change in your lifestyle or diet that is going to help you start your journey. So the second part of my journey that I did not know existed were the setbacks and lessons that I needed to learn in order to find success. During this little chit chat, I'm going to be very transparent on my numbers so that you can know exactly where I was mentally and emotionally when I was at a certain weight. There are so many days that I would sabotage my diet on like a Wednesday, and I decided that because I cheated on my diet on a Wednesday, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were also a wash, and I would start again on Monday. I didn't know that my desire just to lose weight was not enough to keep me motivated and focused. I felt like because I had a nutritionist and I had a plan and I had the app, that everything was just going to fall in place. I believe that I was emotionally aware enough to not compare myself to other individuals that were on a different journey than I was. I thought that because I knew exactly what I was doing, what my goals were, I knew exactly what I should eat, that just looking at somebody who was able to reach their goals faster than mine, that it would make me feel like my journey wasn't worth taking. The moment that my doctor told me that I was pre-diabetic, it was like a light switch went off. I was determined to eat the very best way that I knew how, so that in 6 months when I went back to see her, that 2 things were going to change. That I was no longer going to be pre-diabetic and I was going to have lost some weight. I knew that I wanted to be a certain number on the scale, and I no longer wanted to be pre-diabetic the next time I went to the doctor. So this was the first time that I actually had something to work towards. Because before this moment, I wanted to lose weight, but I had absolutely no goal. Losing a few pounds and going from 230 to 217 was a win for me. I knew that I wanted to lose more weight, but I had absolutely no idea what I wanted my body to look like or how I wanted to feel. So this is whenever I decided that I had to introduce a spiritual component to this journey. Because I was so confused on if I wanted to see a certain number on the scale or if I wanted to feel a certain way, I knew that I was going to have to take a spiritual walk while I was figuring out exactly what it was that I was chasing. I had experienced so many setbacks up until this point that I knew that I could not do it alone. I knew this was going to have to be a process that I was going to have to lean on somebody stronger than my sister, my mama, my best friend, or my partner. So whenever I started talking to God about the goals and vision that I had for myself, when I started asking him exactly how it was that I was going to lose weight, what I was going to do, what foods I needed to eat, why it is that I couldn't stay consistent, I started asking him questions to identify if I was just being lazy or if it was hereditary. I was trying to figure out who and what to blame because every time I thought I was doing so well, the scale never reflected my effort. And so that is why I want to suggest to you to find another way to monitor your progress outside of the scale. This is a suggestion I wish that somebody gave to me a long time ago. As of today, I'm completely addicted to stepping on the scale every single day. The moment that I step on this scale, it is as if it doesn't say a number, but it actually tells me what my day is going to be. If I'm going to be happy, if I'm going to be focused, if I'm going to be sad, if I'm going to be discouraged. The number on the scale has started to speak to me as to what I'm going to eat today, how much water I'm going to drink, if I deserve to have sweets, or if actually today is going to be a fasting day. I want you to identify another way to track your progress outside of looking at the number on the scale. Oftentimes, the number on the scale, nor does it reflect the change that you are working so hard to accomplish. That is why I highly suggest utilizing your mood tracker inside of your ambition planner or the one that is offered in our free 5-day downloadable. You're going to be able to track your mood, track your feelings, track the things that you are wanting to accomplish. You're able to write out your meal plan, your grocery list. You're able to track your habits and how far you've come along on your journey. There are so many other indicators as to how successful you're going to be on your weight loss journey outside of the number on the scale. And for me, the number one method that I found that helped me to be able to measure how successful my day was going to be outside of the number on the scale was my mood. If I was anxious, I was going to overeat. If I was stressed, I was going to eat sweets. If I felt overwhelmed, I probably wouldn't eat all day, but I would binge eat all night. My mood is a direct indicator as to how my day is going to go. So understanding my mood for the day, or even my mood at a certain time of day, helps me to be able to understand what my relationship with food is going to be like as the day goes on. Now, you guys got to pray for me because I'm trying to divorce my relationship with my scale. But I promise you, every day gets easier and easier now that I've identified another method to measure my success. The early lesson that I learned during my journey is that I did not have any self-compassion. and I didn't know how and when to offer myself grace. If I messed up during one meal during the day, that meant that the whole day or the whole week was a wash. I didn't have compassion for the fact that I was going to slip up, that I was going to have mistakes, that I was going to have bad days, that I was not absolutely perfect. So early on, I had to identify what self-compassion and grace looked like for me. It is so important to learn how to speak to yourself. Sometimes the only person rooting for your success is you. So it is incumbent upon yourself to figure out what motivates you. How do you motivate yourself? How do you give yourself the grace that you need in order to keep going even if you've messed up? This is going to take you being self-reflective and honest with yourself on when grace is necessary or when you're sabotaging your success and are truly your own worst enemy. So the way that I built momentum during my weight loss journey is that I had to identify what actually worked. This took a lot of experimenting and was honestly a really frustrating time in my process. Because if I tried a diet, a fad, an app, and it didn't work, it may set me back in my progress. But what I found is that I would do exercises and diet plans that I didn't enjoy, and it made it extremely difficult to stick to it. That is why I'm so excited that Better Me is the sponsor of this episode. Better Me is a health coaching app that offers personalized workouts, nutrition plans, progress tracking, and cognitive therapy. No matter your fitness level, it meets you where you are and helps push you to where you want to be. What I love most is how easily it fits into my lifestyle. With workouts ranging from quick 10-minute sessions to full routines, it's perfect for busy days when I need a little boost or I have an hour to spare. Better Me isn't just about fitness. It's about building confidence, creating balance, and staying consistent on our glow up journey. It's been a total game changer for me, and I know it will be for you too. If you're ready to make your fitness goals a reality, download Better Me today and take the first step to becoming your best and better self. Let's do this together. Click the link in my description and take 60% off today. Thank you again, Better Me, for being the sponsor of this episode and an amazing supporter of our community. Apps like Better Me have helped diversify as I'm working to keep the momentum going in my journey. Understanding what makes me tick is super important. This takes me being hypersensitive to what my body desires. Some mornings I wake up and I'm like, I'm not running. Some mornings I wake up and I'm like, I'm not lifting. But I do want to stretch my body. I do want to do some Pilates. I do want to get on my bike and spin. Some days it's that I'm going to hit my walking pad and I'm doing 20,000 steps. While other days it's that I'm going to walk 4 miles in the park. And there are some days that I'm going to do a 30-minute HIIT workout. Being able to listen to your body and identify the things that you enjoy doing is an amazing way to create and build momentum in your weight loss journey. I also had to experiment with the things that I like to eat. I know that some of you all call yourself a foodie, and I'm sure most people believe that vegetarians can't really be foodies. But I consider myself a foodie's foodie. I like cultural cuisine. I like experimenting with new things. One of my hobbies is cooking. And so experimenting with food and enjoying a good meal is actually one of my love languages. So experimenting with foods that were going to be able to nourish and be healthy for my body was a huge challenge for me in the beginning. However, I realized that I was one that could eat the exact same thing for breakfast and lunch every single day. Being able to identify that it didn't bother me to eat quick oats, oatmeal, yogurt, or scrambled eggs every single morning was a complete game changer, because what it allowed me to do was to be able to meal prep my breakfasts and lunches and give me the flexibility that I enjoyed to experiment during dinner. This was something that I had to figure out on my journey. Food is an absolute necessity, and our lives can start surrounding each of our meals. So because we're so dependent on food for energy and nutrients, it is extremely important to plan out your meals, just as important it is to plan out your schedule in your day. I also started surrounding myself with individuals that were on a same or similar journey. Now, because it took me a long time to shed 70 pounds, I went through quite a few friend groups in multiple states. But I knew how important it was for me to be able to surround myself with a community of like-minded women who were going to root for me, pray for me, and hold me accountable to my goals. As much as I love my husband, I found out that he cannot be my accountability partner. Because the moment that I was having a bad day, he encouraged me to go out and get some ice cream. Not because he wanted to sabotage my success, but because he simply loved me. And he knew how much I loved ice cream. And so in order to make it better, he would give me that deep hug that made me fall in love with him and suggest going to get an ice cream from Chick-fil-A. After a lot of deductive reasoning, I realized that although he had amazing intentions, he would give me a pass faster than I would give myself. If I was laying in bed and I said I didn't feel like going to the gym that morning, he would tell me how much I deserved to rest. Oh, but my workout partner, on the other hand, baby, she was no joke. She wasn't trying to hear that I was sleepy. If I was too tired to get to the gym that morning, it was my my fault because I didn't prepare the night before. So I needed to make sure and meet her at the track, at the gym, or in a spin class before it started, or she was going to be disappointed in me. Disappointment is something my personality can't handle. If you're an A-type personality, you completely understand. If there's a challenge, I'm going to rise to the occasion. You'll never wait for me, I'm going to beat you there. And so identifying this as a part of my personality was extremely important to my success, because I knew then that I could not be without an accountability community that were going to stand with me and support me every step of the way. And let me be clear, because I could take it, I could dish it. I'm an absolutely amazing accountability partner when it comes to your business, your fitness, your marriage, your lifestyle, or your personal goals. If you're serious about getting it done, I'm a ride for you. One of the major attributes that I have now that I didn't know that I was building then, I was developing emotional growth that was going to help me to make the mindset shift that was going to help me to jump from one milestone to the next. Because what I found during my journey is that once I checked the box and I appeased whatever goal I needed to meet, I would meet a pause. Once I went to the doctor and she told me I was no longer pre-diabetic, it took me more than 2 years to lose 5 additional pounds. Whenever I went from 217 to 180 and my numbers came back clear, it was as if I had made it to Mecca. But when I looked at my body, it didn't look the way that I wanted it to. This is all because I didn't actually have a clear goal and a vision for what I wanted. And this is where the mindset shift had to occur. I had to stop setting number goals to mark my progress, and I actually had to learn how to feel. I am amazing at checking off a box, honey. You say you want to achieve it by X amount of time, we can work till we get there. But how do you want to feel once you arrive? Once I arrived at 180, I was not satisfied with my progress. I thought I was going to feel absolutely amazing when I got that far away from the 200s. But when I looked in the mirror, I felt like my body looked the exact same. I didn't feel like I thought I was going to feel once I got to that number on the scale. But what I now understand is that I was not experiencing any emotional growth. Every number that would knock off the scale, I wouldn't celebrate that as a win. It was something that in my mind, I told myself I was supposed to do because I worked out and ate right. It had nothing to do with my discipline, my consistency, or my determination to get to the next number. What I felt is that no matter how much I lost, it was still just never good enough. This is whenever I had to define what success meant to me. I had to finally identify what I was searching for. If it wasn't a number on the scale and it was attached to a feeling, what is it that I wanted to feel? Did I want to feel more sexy? Did I want to feel more confident? Did I want to see a shift in my self-esteem? Did I want to feel appreciated? Did I want to feel like I proved everybody that thought I couldn't do it wrong? Did I feel like I finally achieved my revenge body? I was not emotionally mature enough to be able to articulate exactly what it is that I wanted to feel every time that I got to a certain milestone. So that's when I started journaling. I started writing prayers to God about my weight loss journey and asking Him to create within me a new heart. God was helping me to be consistent. He was showing me how to show myself compassion and grace. But what I had to learn was how to feel as if I was worthy of the success that I was seeing. So it was in these journaling practices that one day I said, why do you want to lose weight? What are you trying to achieve here? Do you want abs? Do you want to compete as a bodybuilder? Do you want to be able to run a marathon? Do you want to just be able to run up the stairs without being winded? Do you want to become a spin instructor? Do you want your belly not to sit on your lap any longer? Do you want to feel sexy? Do you want to feel like you can walk into any store and pick up your jean size and know it's going to fit? Why do you want to lose weight? When I started asking myself why, it started to break down the walls on my actual feelings around my beauty and my weight loss. I wanted to lose weight because in the 3rd grade, a boy called me fat. And from that day forward, I saw myself only as a fat little girl. I then matriculated on into college and never quite felt comfortable with my body or in my own skin. Yes, I had boyfriends, and yes, I snagged my husband my freshman year of college. And despite the fact that in 23 years, he's never made a comment about my weight or suggested that I lose weight, I always felt slightly uncomfortable, and I felt as if one day he was going to say it. The fear of feeling as if one day he wasn't going to love me anymore because of my weight weighed heavily on me and caused me to show up as a person that I didn't like. I constantly put words in his mouth like, I know you see these stretch marks. Don't worry, I'm not going to eat all of it. Let's make sure and turn the lights off tonight because I'm feeling a little bloated. I would start projecting my own feelings onto him because I wanted to beat him to the punch. I started sabotaging our intimate moments by pulling down my shirt or adjusting my clothes. I lived in this perpetual state of fear that he was going to think that I was no longer beautiful or that I was not enough. So one day in my writing, I decided to say that the reason why I wanted to lose weight was for him. And when I tell you quickly, the Lord was like, he ain't got nothing to do with this. I no longer needed to make the reason why I wanted to lose weight the responsibility of someone else. I needed to identify my why. What was I feeling? How was weight affecting the way that I showed up, the way that I experienced myself, and the way that I allowed other individuals to experience me? This mindset shift that changed everything for me. It's the shift that helped me go from 180 to 170. When I started really focusing on why it is that I wanted to lose weight, why it was important to my health and vitality, what did vitality mean to me and how did it show up? I was then able to visualize myself in a body that I never thought was possible. So fast forward in this story a little bit, I stayed in the 170s for almost 3 years. Identifying my why was good enough to jump me from 180 to 170, but the moment that I lost focus of why it is that I wanted to lose weight, I completely plateaued. I was comfortably fitting in a size 12 jeans. I had a cute wardrobe, but there were things that I had discussed with God that I wanted to feel that I still was not feeling. And that's whenever I decided to start working on my body image, and it was time to speak to a therapist. I still did not have the healthiest relationship with food, and I wanted to be able to mentally change my body and my mindset for good. I wanted to be able to get through the plateaus that I was reaching and be honest with myself about what I wanted. Because let me be clear, I can lie to myself. 170 is good enough, girl. You look good. You're happy with where you are. You're satisfied with where you are on your journey. Knowing that 150 was something that I really desired. 150 was this elusive weight that I felt like if I got there, I would have the wriggle room that I felt like I needed in order to enjoy holidays and vacations without feeling self-conscious about every single thing that I ate. I also knew that I could do more. When I plateaued in my 170s, I had gotten accustomed to my routine. I knew exactly what I needed to eat to maintain, and I wasn't actually doing anything to push myself to the next level. Because I figured out how to maintain weight, I became extremely complacent with where I was. So that's when I decided to get back on the journey of going from 170 to 150. And that has been the journey that you and I have been on over the past few months. For any of you who have watched any of my older episodes, you can definitely tell a difference in my face and in my clavicle. I'm finally starting to make the journey into the comfortable 150s, and I'm starting to see this new mindset shift. What I'm working on now, and I want to challenge you to work on, is to find happiness. At the beginning of this episode, I said I was going to tell you if I was finally happy with my weight. As of this morning, I weigh 158 pounds. And if you asked me if I was happy today, the answer would be no. My happiness is no longer tethered to a number on the scale. My happiness is tied to the way that I feel. I feel energized. I feel happy. I feel like I have less mood swings. I feel like I have a new sense of purpose, direction, and routine. I feel a sense of clarity. I feel like I'm finally appreciating food in a new way. I'm starting to look at my body as a divine temple that I have got to treat with respect by feeding it food that is going to help it produce energy so that I can serve the people that mean the most to me. The number no longer makes me happy. Although I am still on a weight loss journey and I do not know when it's going to end, I know that I want to maintain this feeling for as long as possible. I've also gotten crystal clear about what I want my body to look like. Before, I would say that I didn't want a flat stomach because I did not think it was possible. But now that I see that I can actually start moving the needle and I've gotten into the 150s, I want to see how much further I can go in my weight loss journey. Now, you guys do not have to worry about me taking this journey too far. I feel very clear about exactly what it is that I want my body to look like and how I want it to respond every single day. More than anything, losing my father this summer at such a young age has helped me to understand and honor my body and my health on a whole nother level. My dad suffered from diabetes and heart issues, and subsequently it's what caused his premature death. Yes, he was a semi-pro athlete, seemed extremely active, and looked relevantly fit, but inside his body was slowly dying. Losing my father and other individuals that I have loved to health-related issues has helped me focus on my health in a whole different way. As I stated before, I still have an unhealthy relationship with the scale. I now no longer allow it to dictate the way that I feel, the way that I show up, and measure how much work I'm actually doing every single day. So my challenge to you is to figure out what works for you. A few days ago in the comment section, a young lady wrote and said that she was very interested in various diet and exercise programs. goals. He was also interested in GLP-1, but kind of felt like it may be cheating. And I absolutely loved this question because it is so deeply personal as to what you feel as if you want to do on your personal journey. If you want to get a gastric sleeve, if you want to take injections, if you want to work out 2 times a day, if you want to do intermittent fasting, if you want to try an app like Better Me or Weight Watchers, this journey is yours. There is no right or wrong way to go about this journey. I am sharing my personal story with you to let you know that I have had to try so many things. I've had so many setbacks, so many failures in order to figure out what formula was perfect for me to succeed. So I want to encourage you that while you're on this journey, to skip, run, walk, and stand still. No one said that you had to sprint the whole way there. The goal is simply to arrive. Although my weight loss journey has not ultimately given me happiness, it has definitely influenced my self-worth. I am daily seeking joy in this journey, and I want to encourage you to do the same thing. I also wanted to be highly transparent with you about what it feels like to reach a number on the scale that you think is ultimately going to make you extremely proud of yourself, and to figure out how to offer yourself grace and compassion whenever it doesn't. I know what I figured out for me. I know that this was something that was really hard for me to understand, and I pray that it is not as hard for you. But you do not have to do this journey alone. Our Father wants to support you. We're not wrestling against flesh and blood. The enemy would love to see you fat, unhappy, and unsatisfied. He would love for you to feel as if this is a goal that you could not reach. But it's up to you to prove him wrong. Oh, honey, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I cannot wait to meet you in the comment section, where I would love for you to tell me what you have done on your journey, the journeys that you've started and not yet completed, and how you're going to find the accountability partner, exercise routine, and meal planning schedule that is going to help you to reach your ultimate success. So sis, I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.